Fear of the unknown has been a deeply ingrained aspect of human psychology for thousands of years. This primal instinct, while once crucial for survival in a world filled with tangible dangers, has evolved into a more abstract form in modern time. Today, this fear often manifests in our reluctance to step out of our comfort zones, to challenge our habitual ways of thinking, and to embrace change. Historically, humans have been conditioned to seek safety and certainty. This tendency has led to the creation of predictable patterns in our lives where repeating the same thoughts, choices, and actions becomes a mechanism for maintaining a sense of security. We find solace in the familiar even when it becomes evident that change might be beneficial or necessary. This cycle of familiarity results in a static state of being where our personal growth and development are hindered. We become prisoners of our own making, trapped in a loop of recurring emotions and experiences that reinforce our existing beliefs and persist. This constant state of repetition keeps our biology, our thought processes, and our emotional responses exactly the same, creating a comfort zone that is hard to break free from. Fear of the unknown is not just about external circumstances or new experiences. It's also about confronting the unknown within ourselves. It involves questioning long held beliefs, reevaluating our values, and exploring parts of our psyche that we have ignored or suppressed. This internal exploration can be as daunting as any external change, as it challenges the very foundation of our identity and worldview. Moreover, this fear is perpetuated by a societal emphasis on predictability and conformity. From a young age, we are taught to follow certain paths, adhere to specific norms, and avoid risks. This social conditioning further embeds the fear of the unknown, making the idea of deviating from the norm seem not just uncomfortable but also undesirable. The fear of the unknown is further compounded by the natural human tendency to overestimate threats and underestimate our ability to cope with change. We often imagine worst case scenarios and doubt our capacity to adapt, which leads to a heightened sense of fear and apprehension about stepping into unfamiliar territory. Embracing new knowledge and perspectives is a transformative process that involves breaking free from the shackles of old habits and thoughts. It is a journey of exploring new philosophies, theories, and understandings that challenge our existing worldview. This exploration is not just an intellectual exercise. It is a holistic experience that encompasses emotional and behavioral changes as well. When individuals are exposed to new information and ideas, it can act as a catalyst for change. This exposure often comes with the realization that there are alternative ways of thinking and living which can be more fulfilling and aligned with one's true desires and values. It inspires people to question the status quo, to reevaluate their choices, and to consider new possibilities. However, embracing new knowledge is not always easy. It requires an openness to change and a willingness to step out of one's comfort zone. It involves challenging deeply ingrained beliefs and habits, which can be unsettling and even frightening. But it is through this process of exploration and self-questioning that real transformation begins. The free impact of new knowledge extends beyond mere cognitive understanding. It prompts individuals to make new choices, to engage in different behaviors, and to break old patterns. These new actions lead to the creation of new experiences, which in turn generate new emotions and feelings. This shift in emotions is crucial, as it marks a departure from the repetitive emotional patterns that have been reinforcing the old ways of thinking and acting. This process of transformation is often rapid and profound. Research has shown that within just a matter of days, individuals can experience significant changes in their mindset and physical well-being. By changing the way they think, act, and feel, people can begin to upregulate genes that contribute to healing their bodies and altering their physiological functioning. Embracing new knowledge also involves a shift in identity. As individuals explore new ideas and start to implement changes in their lives, they begin to see themselves differently. They move away from an identity that is based on past habits and beliefs and start to develop a sense of self that is more in line with their newfound understanding and experiences. Breaking free from the past presents a significant challenge, largely due to the comfort and familiarity that our established habits and thought patterns provide. The brain and body, having been conditioned to a certain way of being, often resist changes that disrupt the status quo. This resistance is not just psychological. It's physiological as well, as our bodies become accustomed to certain motions and states of being. When a person decides to make a different choice or engage in a new behavior, they are stepping into uncharted territory. This departure from the known and familiar can be deeply unsettling. It's akin to leaving a well-trodden path for a road that is unknown and untested. That's the body, which has been conditioned to be the mind, often reacts by seeking to return to familiar territory. This is where the challenge intensifies, as the body's desire for the familiar can overpower the conscious desire for change. The discomfort experienced in this process is not just a minor inconvenience. It can be profound and disorienting. It manifests as a physical sensation, an emotional response, and a mental struggle. The body, used to operating under certain conditions and emotional states, sends signals of discomfort and alarm, urging a return to the known and familiar patterns. Moreover, this struggle is compounded by the fact that the past is not just a series of events or experiences. It's also an integral part of our identity. Breaking free from the past, therefore, means redefining who we are. It involves letting go of parts of ourselves that we have held on to for years, and this process of letting go can feel like a loss, evoking feelings of grief and uncertainty. The challenge is further exacerbated by the fact that our society often values certainty over the unknown. Stepping out of the norm is sometimes seen as risky or impractical, and this societal pressure can make the journey of breaking free from the past even more daunting. It requires not just personal courage, but also the ability to withstand external pressures and expectations. Additionally, the neural pathways in our brain that have been strengthened over time through repetitive thoughts and behaviors do not change easily. These pathways create a sense of predictability and safety. So when we attempt to forge new pathways by changing our thoughts and behaviors, we encounter resistance not just from our own willpower, but also from our brain's established wiring. The struggle against conditioned responses is a profound aspect of personal growth and transformation. Conditioned responses are deeply embedded reactions and behaviors that have been developed over time, often in response to repeated experiences and environmental cues. These responses become so ingrained in our psyche that they start to operate automatically without conscious thought. Challenging these responses requires a deep understanding of our own mental processes and a concerted effort to change. When we step out of our comfort zone and into the realm of the unknown, our conditioned responses often kick in with full force. These responses are rooted in the brain's desire for predictability and efficiency. The brain, having established certain patterns of thinking and behaving, finds it easier to revert to these familiar patterns rather than forge new ones. This is why, when we try to change our habits or thought processes, we often find ourselves slipping back into old ways. This struggle is compounded by the fact that our conditioned responses are not just mental, but also emotional and physical. Our bodies have learned to respond in certain ways to particular thoughts and situations. For example, facing a new challenge might trigger a stress response that we have become accustomed to. Breaking these physical responses requires not just mental effort, but also a change in how we relate to our bodily sensations and emotions. Moreover, our conditioned responses are often reinforced by our environment and social context. The people around us, the media we consume, and the societal norms we adhere to can all reinforce certain ways of thinking and behaving. Stepping out of these conditioned responses can sometimes mean going against the grain of our social environment, which requires courage and a strong sense of self. The process of overcoming these conditioned responses involves becoming acutely aware of them. This awareness is the first step towards change. It allows us to recognize when we are acting out of habit rather than conscious choice. With this recognition comes the ability to pause and choose a different response. However, this process is easier said than done. It requires consistent practice and a willingness to sit with discomfort, as changing ingrained patterns is inherently uncomfortable. Furthermore, the struggle against conditioned responses is a dynamic process. As we change, our responses evolve and new challenges arise. This means that the process of change is not linear, but rather a continuous journey of self-discovery and growth. Each step forward requires us to confront new aspects of ourselves and to develop new strategies for dealing with our conditioned responses. The struggle against conditioned responses is also a deeply personal journey. What works for one person may not work for another. It requires a tailored approach that takes into account an individual's unique history, personality, and circumstances. It involves a combination of self reflection, possibly therapeutic intervention, and the development of new, healthier patterns of thinking and behaving. Conscious awareness is fundamental in the journey of personal transformation and growth. It is the ability to observe and understand one's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in real time. This heightened state of awareness is crucial because it allows individuals to recognize the automatic patterns and conditioned responses that dictate much of their daily lives. By becoming more conscious of these unconscious elements, one can begin the process of intentional change. This journey begins with the recognition that many of our thoughts and actions are not the result of deliberate choice, but are, instead, conditioned responses learned over time. These automatic processes can keep us trapped in repetitive cycles that may not align with our current goals or desired self. Conscious awareness shines a light on these hidden aspects of our psyche, offering the opportunity to reassess and realign our actions with our conscious intentions. Developing conscious awareness is not an overnight process. It requires dedication and practice. It often involves mindfulness techniques such as meditation, reflective journaling, or engaging in therapy or coaching. These practices help to slow down the mind, allowing for a deeper observation and understanding of one's thought patterns, emotional responses, and body sensations. Moreover, conscious awareness extends beyond mere self-observation. It involves an active engagement with one's thoughts and emotions, questioning their validity and usefulness. This critical engagement allows individuals to discern which thoughts are based on outdated beliefs or unfounded fears, and which are aligned with their true values and aspirations. Conscious awareness also plays a crucial role in emotional regulation. By becoming more aware of their emotional states, individuals can better understand the triggers and underlying causes of their emotions. This understanding is vital for managing reactions and responses in a more balanced and controlled manner. In addition, conscious awareness facilitates better decision making. With a clearer understanding of their thought and behavioral patterns, individuals can make choices that are more deliberate and less influenced by subconscious biases or societal pressures. This leads to actions that are more in line with one's true desires and goals, fostering a sense of authenticity and fulfillment. The role of conscious awareness in personal growth also involves acknowledging and accepting one's limitations and areas for improvement. This acceptance is not a form of resignation, but rather a starting point for meaningful change. It allows for a realistic assessment of where one is and what needs to be done to move forward. Furthermore, the development of conscious awareness often leads to a greater sense of empathy and understanding towards others. As individuals become more attuned to their internal processes, they often develop a deeper appreciation for the complexities of human behavior, fostering stronger and more compassionate relationships. Conscious awareness is a powerful tool. In the process of personal change and growth, it involves developing a deep understanding of one's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and using this understanding to make more conscious choices through practices that enhance self awareness. Individuals can break free from automatic patterns, regulate their emotions more effectively, and make decisions that are more aligned with their true selves. This journey of conscious awareness is a path to a more authentic, balanced, and fulfilling life.